This is macOS Ken.
Small but mighty OS updates, tracking the smartwatch market, and Enter Sandman is entering Apple's headset. It is Wednesday, the 12th of March, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Incogni. Take your personal data back and get 60% off an annual plan with code macOSKen at incogni.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. As had been telegraphed, Apple released important updates for most of its hardware on Tuesday. Pieces from Mac rumors had the company releasing iOS and iPadOS 18.3.2, macOS Sequoia 15.3.2, visionOS 2.3.2, and tvOS 18.3.1. Apple's release notes for them, at least the ones I could see, say this update provides important bug fixes, security updates, and addresses an issue that may prevent playback of some streaming content. It also directs folks to the security updates page for info about that, and yeah, it's there. Matching security notes regarding a WebKit vulnerability for the iOS, iPadOS, macOS, and visionOS updates say, maliciously crafted web content may be able to break out of Web Content Sandbox. This is a supplementary fix for an attack that was blocked in iOS 17.2. Apple is aware of a report that this issue may have been exploited in an extremely sophisticated attack against specific targeted individuals on versions of iOS before iOS 17.2. History does not repeat, but it rhymes. A piece from TechCrunch says in February, Apple used the same language, an extremely sophisticated attack against specific targeted individuals, for another bug, but there is no evidence the two attacks are connected. The piece says Apple had not used that wording before the patches in February. As for this week's patches, the same TechCrunch piece says neither the hackers nor targets were disclosed. The report says Apple did not respond to a request for comment, which is so unlike them. What does the tvOS update have in common with the rest? Funny enough, it is not the security thing. Apple's security updates page lists no CVE entries for the media player operating system. Rather, release notes on Apple's site say the tvOS 18.3.1 update addresses an issue that may prevent playback of some streaming content on Apple TV 4K 3rd generation. A problem streaming on the streaming device, you say? Weird. If you turned off Apple Intelligence the last time you updated iOS, and the time before, there is a chance you will have to again after this week's security update. If memory serves, Apple's version of AI defaulted to on with the release of iOS 18.3. People who had gone through and turned it off were less than pleased after last month's 18.3.1 update, which turned the feature back on for some. Third verse, same as the first. A piece from Mac Rumors says after installing iOS 18.3.2, iPhone users have noticed that Apple Intelligence is automatically turned on regardless of whether it was turned off prior to the update being installed. There is an Apple Intelligence splash screen that comes up after updating, and there is no option other than tapping Continue, which turns on Apple Intelligence, according to Mac Rumors. Here's the thing, though. That's not completely right. To see whether this was happening to everyone, I went into Settings, then Apple Intelligence and Siri, then toggled it off, then ran the update. As Mac Rumor said, I did get the Apple Intelligence splash screen. While it did have the Continue button, it also had the words Set Up Later, or words to that effect, under the button. I tapped those words, then went to check in Settings, and what do you know? Apple Intelligence was still off. So I had to go through the trouble of turning it back on, which was really no trouble since I was there anyway. Anyway, That's how to check that it is turned off and how to turn it off if you want to turn it off. Settings, then Apple Intelligence and Siri, then, if you need to, flip the switch. Now, here's the thing about yesterday's updates. They are so yesterday. Moving us into the world of tomorrow, public betas for Apple's next round of big little updates. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple on Tuesday made betas of iOS 18.4, iPadOS 18.4, and macOS Sequoia 15.4 available to its public testing peeps. Public releases of those are expected next month, but if you don't do waiting, you can join the testing fun at beta.apple.com. That is, unless you're already in the program, in which case, do your thing. What's annoying in the upcoming updates? Well, if you like to keep tabs on your storage consumption, it's apparently going to be harder in macOS Sequoia 15.4. A piece from iDownload blog says the 15.4 update hides the amount of storage consumed by Apple Intelligence. The site sees nothing shady going on, based on the fact that the info is still easy to find in iOS and iPadOS. They figure it's a technical issue, still potentially annoying, especially since to get info on Apple Intelligence storage on the Mac, one must turn off the System Integrity Protection security feature, which helps protect your Mac from malicious software. Details, baby, details. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Incogni, helping you take back your personal data. Incogni works to get your personal data away from data brokers, organizations that gather and package as much info about you as they can, then sell it to other organizations, sometimes advertisers, sometimes insurance companies, sometimes to still other data brokers who make an even bigger file on you. Sounds unstoppable, yet Incogni works to stop it. They reach out to data brokers on your behalf, requesting the removal of your personal data, dealing with any broker objections, and doing it over and over and over again. If your info pops on a site that had removed it, Incogni is ready with another removal request. Their work saves you time and offers you peace of mind. Two things I love about Incogni's service. Let them work for you. Take control of your data privacy today with Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan with code macOSken at incogni.com/macOSken. That's a great savings, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. INCOGNI. Get 60% off an annual plan with code macOSken at incogni.com/macOSken. The smartwatch market ticked a bit slower in 2024. That is the word from Counterpoint Research. The market tracker issued a release on Tuesday that had the global smartwatch market falling 7% last year, the first ever decline in the overall market. While Apple Watch still led the global market, it too ticked more slowly. Shipments of Apple's wearable fell 19% year-on-year. That sounds huge, though global market share for the device only moved from 25% in 2023 to 22% in 2024. It seems the device was a victim of its 2023 success. According to Counterpoint, sales suffered from a lack of an Apple Watch Ultra 3, a new Apple Watch SE, and minimal new features in Apple Watch Series 10. Quickbooks Online is adding support for Tap to Pay on iPhone. Apple Insider says adding Apple's contactless payment solution to the cloud-based accounting software will let small and medium-sized business take contactless payments through one of QuickBooks' apps and sync directly to the user's QuickBooks Online account. The rollout started yesterday, the 11th of March. When the rollout's complete in the next few weeks, the feature will be open to all QuickBooks Online customers in the US, who have added a QuickBooks payments plan to their subscription. If you're a headbanger with an Apple Vision Pro, please be careful. Also, there is a larger-than-life concert event hitting your face this Friday. 9 to 5 Mac says Apple will put Metallica on or in the headset on Friday, the 14th of March. According to the piece, the film features 180-degree immersive video footage shot in Mexico City as part of Metallica's M72 World Tour. Feature-packed? Not feature-length, it seems. The show will feature full performances of 3 Metallica songs, Whiplash, 1, and Enter Sandman. Of course, there's no point selling anything if you can't sell everything. Apple's press release on the release says customers can book an Apple Vision Pro demo at their local Apple store to experience the magic of spatial computing and enjoy an extended preview of Metallica beginning this Friday. Users can also enjoy the band's performance with a new EP, M72 World Tour, Mexico City, available in spatial audio on Apple Music this Friday. And finally today, if you're an Apple Arcade subscriber, you got 6 new games coming soon. Apple issued a press release Tuesday highlighting the titles. Coming on the 3rd of April are the quirky action game Katamari Damacy Rolling Live, Space Invaders Infinity Gene Evolve, the evolution of the late 70s coin-op classic, the relaxing puzzle game Puffies, the fun-filled STEM adventure Sesame Street Mecha Builders Plus, the Game of Life 2 Plus, the official sequel to the world-famous board game. I'm sorry, wouldn't the sequel to the Game of Life be Death? The Game of Death? The Game of Afterlife, maybe? Game of Life 2. Finally, Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic Plus is coming, a game that I want to tell you I am going to play, but know for a fact I'm not. I mean, maybe on my Mac, but probably not really. Lots of updates to current titles on the way as well, including bringing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to NBA 2K25 Arcade Edition and a new course to PGA Tour Pro Golf on the 13th of March, adding new levels and objectives to Skate City, New York on the 27th of March, and still more updates to still more games. Apple Arcade is part of Apple One's various tiers. It's also available as a standalone subscription for $6.99 per month. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan with code macOSKen at incogni.com/macOSken. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSken. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.